welcome to the Yarn is Calling podcast.
Episode 15! Woo!
Finally.
Yeah.
I can't even believe how long it's been. I apologize, all my
2
knitting
months,
peeps.
but, life happens.
Almost, yeah.
About 2 months.
About 2 months. Yeah, July something is when the very beginning of July. So much has happened.
Yes.
If you will recall, 2 episodes ago, when we were at the beach, Kirsten was hugely pregnant. She has had her baby.
And she's adorable.
But she is saying now she's just not sure how much she'll be able to. She'll pop in here and there, but she won't be able to podcast on a regular basis.
I guess that's too.
Yeah. Just because of being a new mom and all those things. But
All you moms will understand.
right. So we'll start with that. She had her baby
Flora.
July 27th. She was 11 days late. So
Poor Kirsten.
poor Kirsten and John. He was a little stressed out too. But and they live 3 hours away from us, and she wanted me to be there. And so she was.
You did a lot of driving that month.
I did a lot of driving from here and there. It's a 3-hour drive, and I was working, and I did a lot of working, and had some big events going on with the shop. And so I ended up doing a lot of driving back and forth to make sure I could do the work I needed to do, and also be there for Kirsten too. And but yeah, she had a humongous baby girl.
But 9-12?
Yes, 9 pounds 12 ounces, almost 10 pounds.
Big baby.
Yes, Flora Belva Louise Williams.
And she is adorable.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Bryce and I went and saw her. Went up and saw them, like within that first week. So, and she was so cute.
Oh,
she looked
she's
like
beautiful.
she was a month old already.
Yeah.
And she'd only been she was just getting to a week old.
Yeah. And I made her 4 pairs of baby socks
She's
back in May or something. And 2 of those pairs she's already outgrown.
Of course.
And she's not even 2 months old yet. And she's already outgrown 2 pairs of socks. So, part of my actually FOs that I don't have to show you. Oh, by the way, we are a knitting podcast. We are a knitting podcast. I know we're talking about babies, but we are a knitting podcast, hence the name, The Yarn is Calling. And I'm Holly.
Hi, Allison.
Yeah, I probably should say that.
Welcome back, returning viewers. Thank you for waiting.
Sorry, yes.
For your patience while we...
Well, we had life.
Yes.
But
Life
anyway,
happens.
yes, so I made her 2 pairs of baby socks again last week and sent them up, so I don't have them to show anybody. But anyway,
You can put pictures in.
I'm hoping, so I've asked Kirsten if she'd be willing to make a little short video just to say hey to y'all and show off the baby.
That's a good idea.
And I'll just pop it in at the end. So if she does that, I'll pop it in at the end.
And
Or
I
maybe
can see you
even
next time.
Yeah, or I could even pop it in right here if I get one from her. So we'll see if I get one from her or not. At the very least, I can post some pictures because she's super cute.
So cute. And
So-
she's already all smiley. She's got Kirsten's little half moon eyes.
Yeah, she looks like her mommy
Mhm.
and her daddy, actually. So
Despite
But
being a
anyway,
big baby, she still looks small
yes.
compared to John.
so that was July.
It's like everyone looks small compared to John.
Yes.
6'8".
I think we've probably mentioned.
I'm sure we have.
Yes. So yeah, that was July, and then in August, Allison got a new job.
Yes, I did.
What do you do?
I am now a cashier, receptionist, whatever you want to call it, for McMinnville Toyota dealership.
Yeah, full-time job.
Full time, so it's like quadruple the hours and a couple extra dollars an hour. I miss working at Joann's, not gonna lie. But
Well, fabric and yarn and
fabric,
stuff.
yarn, right up my alley.
Mhm.
However, yeah, full time, more per hour. It's been great so far.
Benefits.
Yes, I've already taken advantage of many of the benefits, including a new car.
Car.
Which is
Which is what she desperately needed because
Yes.
her car couldn't even make it out of town.
It probably could,
Well,
but we didn't trust it out.
Yeah.
We didn't trust it outside
Yeah.
town. So
Yeah.
if I needed to go outside of Mac, I either had to take Bryce's car and leave him stuck in Mac, or get a ride.
Anyway, new car is a good
New
thing.
car, a Toyota RAV4. It's great. I love it.
So yay for new things.
Yes.
And and I was really busy at the store all the things.
Mm-hmm.
And then last month was our 30th wedding anniversary, at the end of August. And so in September, or it is September, but I mean like last week.
We're halfway through September already.
I know. Last week though, we took a 9-day trip out to Utah to see Bryce Canyon and Zion National Park and all those pretty things, and I'll pop a few pictures in at the end of that too. A lot of
really cool pictures.
Oh, it was amazing and gorgeous, but it was a long road trip.
Mm-hmm. When I was, I don't know if I've mentioned that I went to MWSB at all in this podcast. After I graduated high school, I went to a one-year Bible school out in the middle of nowhere in Montana. Last week of school, we all went down to Moab, Utah.
Oh, I'm like, what does this have to do with what I just said? Okay, got it.
I understand the long road trip.
Yes, following
and
you
now.
now.
You didn't see much of the same things I did. But
no, we basically saw, maybe latch it so it doesn't keep, the wind keeps.
Oh, is that what's going on?
So we're at my house in Newburgh, and we were going to be outside, and then it started to rain, and now it's stopped. So, but it's gray clouds.
But there's a lot of gray clouds, so. And
so we're in my yarn room.
All of you Oregon viewers, you understand.
Yeah.
You understand.
But anyway, that road trip, though, that kind of leads me into my first FO. We'll talk about a few little FOs here. So I've made a lot of things since, July 3rd or 6th or whatever day it was that we podcasted. And most of them I've given away, so I don't have to show. But also,
the picture montage.
I guess I could. Maybe.
Or you just put pictures up as you talk about them.
No, I'm not going to talk about all the things, because they are all just given away, and socks and more socks and whatever.
Oh, the socks.
Yeah. But the trip, though, I have to talk about, because as we were packing up and I was putting together some scraps to make some scrappy socks, because I like to knit while we drive. So my husband and I, we like to listen to audiobooks while we drive. And so we had some audiobooks picked out, and then I had my knitting all squared away, and then Jason says, have you seen me do race knitting? And he knows how fast I can knit. He goes,
socks.
I wonder if you could knit me a pair of socks between here and Salt Lake City. And so we were taking 2 days to get to Salt Lake City. From here, Newburgh, Oregon, we were going to stop over in Idaho, Nampa, Idaho, in an Airbnb, and then when we got to Salt Lake City, which is where the World Mark was, which turns out was not in Salt Lake City, but it was in Midway,
challenge accepted.
Basically, he's like, I wonder if you can knit me a pair of socks by the time we get to Salt Lake City, and I'm like, challenge accepted. Challenge accepted. And
succeeded.
Well, you're giving away my story. Let me
tell
the
story. I'm sorry.
You're giving it away.
Sorry.
So, I got the first sock done on the first day, and as Allison let you know, I did finish the second one on the second day, but not in Salt Lake City.
Oh.
See, that's what I was trying to say.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Midway is past Salt Lake City, so we kind of skirted around Salt Lake City and went down to Midway, and that's where the World Mark is that we stayed in, and so I technically did not finish them by the time we got to Salt Lake City.
Oh.
I finished them by the time we got to Midway.
Oh, okay.
Which was still the second day, which was still within the time frame that he was envisioning.
Oh.
And then...
I feel bad now. I'm sorry.
It's okay. But I still got them done in the time that he was challenging me. But also what I was going to say was I had picked out some yarn. I'm not sure if I showed it on the podcast or not, but in April when I had my birthday thing and we went to Coastal Yarns
that was so much fun.
Kenna Beach, I had picked out some yarn for him to make him socks. So that was the skein that I grabbed. So when he said that to me as we were packing, I grabbed that skein since I had it set aside for him anyway, and some needles. And I just did. So anyway, I finished them, and then he wore them twice. He wore them the very next day in Salt Lake City. So if he was wearing them, and when we did after Midway, we drove back into Salt Lake City the next day. So technically, I did finish them before he got to Salt Lake City, and he was wearing them all day in Salt Lake City. We went to the Natural History Museum, and we went to Temple Gardens and things like that. So anyway, so he's worn them several times. And I have washed them in between, but I haven't washed them again since we've been home because we just got home a couple days ago. So they're kind of wonky looking. But these are the socks. They're a little bit like, I tried to put them on sock blockers so that they would, you know, look better, but they don't because they're all stretched out. But
that is big.
You can the yarn. So the yarn I used, it's right there. Can you grab me that little bag that's sitting right there and sitting outside the?
This one?
That's the one. So the yarn I used was Gadifra. Lana Mia Gadifra. So it says 1 for 2. So basically it was one ball that had been dyed in such a way. So it started and ended with a little bit of white, this little bit of white right here. And then it did all the way, it was dyed all the way to here, and then a little bit more blue. I have my leftovers here. And then it hit white again. And then there was a big chunk of white, and then it started over.
Oh.
And so then I was able to get 2 matching socks with one skein yarn, and it was
nice.
dyed with a big chunk of white in between the 2 sections of color. It looks like I, you know, did stripes, but I didn't. That's just how the yarn was dyed. It was supposed to be a gradient. It didn't have a very smooth transition right there. Yeah, but yeah.
They look cool still.
But the yarn is really nice and soft and squishy. So this is what I have left. I have a little bit of the blue, or no, black.
Grayish.
It's black. It's gray to black or dark navy
gray.
or something. And then it's very squishy. So it's an 80/20 superwash virgin wool and polyamide.
Oh.
It's very squishy. And he loves them. Like I said, he wore them twice. He loves them. I just did a 3x1 rib, and I even did the 3x1 rib down the heel flap. But I did do some slip stitches. You can kind of see there.
Did you use a pattern, or did you use your general sock skills?
Yeah, I don't really need it.
Because we're awesome like that.
I don't really need a pattern anymore.
Mm.
I mean, unless it's a specific stitch pattern. I don't. I just did it. I think I cast on 76, or was it 78? I think it was
70 something.
76 stitches with a 1.5 needle. So because this yarn's a little plumper, and so I think a 1 would have been a little bit too tight, you know. So
probably 76 because that's a multiple of 4.
Yeah. Okay. So 76 is what I did. So anyway, yeah.
Because math.
So I did this in 2 days. I finished.
Nice.
I started these day we left and finished them the next day.
Very
so the 4th and the 5th or something like that. So yeah,
Yay.
that's one of the. And then while we were on our trip, I also did a couple of baby socks for Kirsten, and sent them up to her. So I don't have those to show. But anyway, so that's an FO. Shall we just continue on with what we're wearing?
Oh,
look at these.
Didn't you make those on the trip too?
I did. You want to
Or
talk?
you started?
Yeah, we'll continue with trip
Yeah.
stuff. Let's just finish the trip stuff. So, I had started, like I said, I started to get together some scraps to make some scrappy socks on our trip, and before Jason challenged me to do those. So I did have my scraps, and I did make them. I got
So
1.5 socks done while on the trip. So as soon as I was done with those, I started these. So these are done in a very odd way.
I like them a lot.
Yeah, how do you like that?
Very pretty.
It's so I had posted on Instagram all of my little scrap balls, which I left out there.
That's okay. They can look up. She's holly.knits on Instagram, by the way.
Yes.
And I'm wyvern713 on Instagram.
Yes, and I'm Holly Isaac on Ravelry. But
And I'm wyvern713 on Ravelry.
right. So I had
My username everywhere.
a total of 6 if you count the heel toe cuff yarn. But I had 5 yarns for the body of the sock. And
Super pretty.
I had some balls, like the grays here were a little bit bigger balls, and then these ones I had a little bit less of. So what I did was I basically I made thicker stripes with the balls that I had more of,
Makes
and
sense.
thinner stripes with the balls that I had less of. So I
Makes
started
perfect
with the one that
sense.
had the most and did a 6-row stripe. And then the second one was a 5-row stripe. And then a 4-row stripe. And then a 3-row stripe. And then I have a little tiny gray in there that's a 2-row stripe. And then I start over.
Oh,
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, all the way down like that.
Cool.
And it ended up, and because of the way the yarn is, it's very pooly stripes.
It's really pretty.
Thank you.
Very pretty.
It was not at all
Like
how
an
I
impressionist
expected it to
painting.
look. It kind of looks like opal in a way.
That too. Well, I think
Um,
Opal's done a lot of yarns based on impressionist paintings.
That's true. So I love
So there
them,
you
and they're great. And again, well, this time, okay, I did kind of use a pattern with this one. I used Favorite Socks, which is basically a vanilla pattern. And the reason I went off that as a base is because I'm going to be teaching some sock classes at the shop where I work. So I work at the Naughty Lamb in Forest Grove, and I'm teaching a couple sock classes coming up, starting next Sunday, as a matter of fact. So there'll be 3 weeks in a row for Sock 101, and then it'll start over again in October, and I'll teach it again.
Nice.
And the class is basically just a basic vanilla sock, and so we're using this pattern. Now, it's not, I mean, I did my own thing with the
Stripey.
scraps and the stripes. People will just be using their yarn. But the construction, though, of,
Construction's the same, right?
yes, I use the same construction. I think I did actually kind of just start doing my own thing on the toe.
As one does.
I don't know if this is how the toe is in the pattern. I just did my own thing on the toe. But it started off the same, at least, anyway. So that I would have a sample to show in my class.
Smart.
So that's Favorite Socks. It was by, I think it was by Woolenvine, is the, and I don't remember her name, I'm sorry. But it's a basic vanilla sock pattern. And 64 stitches, size 1 needles, 1x1 rib, and then vanilla knitting, and then just your standard heel flap, gusset, toe, and all the things. So these I finished actually last night. We'd been home a couple of days. I'd gotten, like I said, a sock and a half done while on the road trip. So I got Jason's socks done on the road trip, 2 pairs of baby socks done, and a sock and a half done here.
Sock knitting fiend.
So I got a lot of knitting. Well, we had a lot of time in the car, and we listened to 2.5 books.
What'd you listen to?
So the first book we listened to was Anansi Boys by Neil Gaiman. And that was fun. It was not what I expected. But Neil Gaiman is a great author, though. The story wasn't as riveting as some of his other stories, but it was still really well written. He writes in a way that's just very engaging and funny, very similar to Terry Pratchett. And the guy that read it was great. He did a great job. He did like accents and voices and everything, so it was fun. So we listened to that, and then he wanted me to listen to his his book, and the first book in the series that he's listening to, and he thought it was more like a fantasy, but it's like fantasy romance, and I just didn't like it. I don't really like romance books. I think it was like. It was almost like a Harlequin fantasy book. It was, and I was just like, oh, and so he'd turn it on and we'd listen to it, and I'd be like rolling my eyes, going, oh. I'm like, I'm really sorry, I don't like it. So it's just kind of funny, you know.
Did Dad know it was that kind?
He did, and he liked it okay. I mean, there was enough adventure in it.
That's funny.
There was enough adventure in it he could overlook, but I just didn't even
That's really funny.
enjoy the adventure. I'm like, can we just stop talking about how they're making each other feel, and let's get on with the adventure.
Seriously.
So, didn't really like it. So we turned it off.
Really funny.
We turned it off and turned on another one of my books, which we actually ended up finishing last night, even though we were home. And it was The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. And I've read Kristen Hanna before. You have too. She wrote Angel Falls and Comfort and Joy. I think you've read those books.
They don't sound familiar.
Really? Oh, she's a really good author. And I also have Nightingale on my list, but I haven't read it yet. But The Great Alone, it was so good. It's about
Sorry.
a girl who goes to Alaska. Her father is a POW from Vietnam, so this is in the 1970s. And he has issues because he's a POW from Vietnam. And they go to Alaska and their story. And it was so good. So good. I highly recommend it. The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. So those are the things we listened to. The other, okay, so the book that it was called, I think the series is like The Sharing Knife. Is the series.
The romance one?
Yeah, the romance one. Anyway, yes. Sorry, Jane. Not my favorite.
And that's okay. You don't have to like
I don't have to
things.
like the things. It just cracks me up though, because when we were on another trip, we stopped at a gas station, and I'm getting the beef jerky, and he's getting the pink cookies. And then we listened to this book, and I'm like, the POW in Alaska, and he's like, romance. I mean, I'm teasing him, and he knows it. It's just
funny.
It had, he liked the adventure part, which is true, and it had potential. It just had too much of the other stuff.
Just
that was
tone down the romance and focus on the adventure.
Yeah. So, there we are. That's that.
There you go.
That's probably enough of that. I got yarn when I was in Utah as well. I did find 2 yarn shops. I always like to go to a yarn shop when I'm out of town, and Jason is very accommodating and understanding. So we found Blazing Needles in Salt Lake City that we went to, and I don't remember what the other one was, in St. George. So we drove down to St. George. The Knitting Post was the one we went to in St. George.
Nice.
Well, it says Santa Clara, but it's outskirts of St. George.
Sorry, I didn't pick it.
So I will show those when we talk about acquisitions.
They're pretty.
Yes. So,
Something yesterday.
do you have some FOs to share? I've talked enough for a little while. I have a few more
I've
things,
got a
but not
few.
lot.
Aside from the ones we're wearing.
Oh. Right! Look! We finished our ranunculus sweaters! So you stand up first and show yours. So Allison did a fade.
Yes. Ta-da! Here, I'll give you so you can see
Yeah.
the eyelets and the cool patterny stuff going on.
Yeah.
So this top one is a yarn that I hand dyed.
Yeah.
And let's see, it was the very first one I dyed actually. I called the color Damsel in Distress is what I think is what I named the color.
Okay, cool.
The second one is
The purple.
the purple. It's
Laura's Laces?
that one. Yes, I kept wanting to say Lion Brand, but I knew that wasn't right. Lorna's Laces, Shepherd's Sock, and Hermosa. And then the bottom one is also Lorna's Laces, Shepherd's Sock, and Chocolate Mousse.
So the pattern is
Ranunculus.
the ranunculus. If
Sounds
you
like a
will
Harry Potter
recall,
spell.
we had a ranunculus knit along. I don't think anybody ever posted, and
I did!
and I think I did.
When I finally finished it.
But
Like a couple days ago.
oh yeah.
Last
It's just,
week.
we got busy, and
I think I finished it last week. And then I posted,
You're stuck on the carpet.
Oh,
That's why you're not able to fix your chair.
Aha! The obligatory, lay it on the couch, dark lighting.
I had one of those pictures too until Allison
And then-
helped move some better ones.
And then Bryce took a couple pictures for me today,
Yeah.
and I posted those on my Instagram this morning.
So here's mine. Mine is I'll back up, not trip on the chair. So mine is made with can you see that? Murray and Co. Murray and Co. yarn. Can you see that lace? Isn't that pretty?
So pretty.
And this
Fun pattern.
it took a skein and I made it a little longer. You can see how
Yeah, me
I
too.
made it a little longer than the pattern said because it's pretty cropped.
It's quite cropped.
And I didn't want it that cropped.
It's like
so,
the ribbing was like 8 centimeters, which is probably about, I don't know, 3.5 inches or so.
Yeah.
And then you do like 4 inches stockinette after the sleeve. So that's
Yeah.
like 8 inches total. It's just like, no.
Yeah, I'm too old for crop sweaters. I'm too old and fat for a crop sweater. It's just no. So I made it a little longer, and so it took about a skein and a half of the Marie & Co. And this is in the Graveyard Bats colorway.
Nice.
We carry it in our shop.
Is it too? It's like, because when you were looking at it, there's like a line.
Yep, that line
just the
was
yarn?
one skein. Yeah, that was within the first skein. So
Oh,
that's
interesting.
not my change between skeins. That's just
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, it's really quite. It's got a lot of variation in it, you know, and it's got some neat. Can you see those neat colors in there?
Yeah, it's a lot of really cool ones.
Look at that! Isn't that pretty? Hee hee. Anyway, it's a really pretty color, and it goes with a lot of things. So
It's a fun pattern. A nice
yeah,
pattern.
it's a great pattern. I have another one on my
another one.
needles.
Oh, you haven't finished that one?
I haven't finished that one yet because I got carried away with other
Which
things.
neck did you do on this one? Was this
So
one?
this, it has 2 necks, and it has, you can do long billowy sleeves, and I did no
Or short
sleeves,
sleeve.
and she did
Same
no
here.
sleeves. I did the small neck
Okay.
with the tubular cast on, which was a pain in the butt.
I did the wide neck with the double twist,
Yeah.
double backwards loop.
Yeah, and that's
whatever it was.
probably a little more comfortable and
Mhm.
loose. And
But it looks the same. It looks kind of the same.
it kind of does look the same. This one is it has a less give to it.
Mm.
And it's the same amount of stitches.
Yeah.
It's just that that's stretchier, and this
Yeah.
has less give. So I like, and my other one that I started, I did the double twist instead of this one. So, but I like it. I like it a lot.
Excuse me. I like mine too.
So, yay! I highly recommend the pattern. Super easy,
It's nice.
and it's got a lot of positive ease. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And there are adaptations if you want
Yeah.
the billowy look with the
Yeah.
cropped look. There is a separate file for
Yeah.
those stitch counts, but the main pattern is just it's one stitch count, and it's like 50 something inches around.
yeah.
So it's if you're lucky to be really really small,
It's got a lot of positive ease.
a lot of positive ease. I mean, I didn't swatch or anything.
I didn't gauge swatch either. I never
Because-
gauge swatch.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nope.
And
I don't wanna waste my yarn on it.
exactly. Well, when I do swatch, I make the swatch and I unravel it.
Yeah. It's just
You're supposed to
time. It's a
bind it
time
off and block
and
it
block
all
it and
that,
all
blah,
the
blah,
things.
blah,
I
blah,
never
blah.
do.
Nope.
I never do. And you can make the sweater out of DK. This is fingering. Now this is fingering. You can also make it out of DK or even worsted as well. I've seen people do that. My boss at the Naughty Lamb, Karen, she made hers with a fingering held double with a mohair.
Ooh.
Oh, and hers turned out gorgeous. It's beautiful. So,
Oh my goodness. Sorry. Why am I
but
yawning so much all of a
hers is
sudden?
pretty. So what else do you have?
Let's see. I've got things. Put that down. That's not finished. Well, I meant to show these last episode.
Can you show something else that's not knitting?
I've got
That's fine. Go ahead.
I've got this podcast. We show off all the things. My eye is switching.
This is all the things.
All the things. All the crafty things. This is just the first thing the next first thing I grabbed. So, actually, before the previous episode, I had done these more little paintings at Bryce's grandparents' house, I think. Anyway,
Okay.
so I got these little jellyfishies.
Cute.
Super fun and cute. Then I did a gnome.
Cute.
Look at the ladybugs! It's not focusing.
That's probably because
It's so close.
yeah.
But those
Cute.
ladybugs are so tiny.
Did you put dots on them? Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah, you
I
did.
got dots on there. Tiny
Yeah,
brushes
they're
for the
really-
win. So that one's a magnet.
Oh, fun. Cute.
Okay, and then
Cute.
Snake, I finished. You haven't even seen anything about these. If you remember a while back, we talked about the Rose City yarn crawl we went on. One of the skeins of yarn I got was a mosaic moon in the color Luna Lovegood. So
Oh, I remember when you got that yarn.
I made.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah. Right here. This is the Luna Lovegood, and the pattern is called Luna Lovegood. I've been thinking I would have put these on blockers earlier.
Have you watched these?
I have worn them I have worn them at least once. I watched them, but there they are. Ta-da! And it's got this really cool lacy pattern on the
So-
front, And then I got these.
What's the
little
pattern?
cable. It's called Luna Lovegood.
Oh, the pattern's Luna.
The pattern's called
I
Luna
thought the
Lovegood.
color was Luna Lovegood.
It is.
Oh, double Lunas.
Double Lunas. And I had to do, there's a lot of improvisations I had to do because the pattern was in French.
Oh,
But there's a chart. There's a chart, so, and I could basically kind of figure out, I was like, okay, start with this many for the toe, increase for the toe.
toe up then.
Mm-hmm. And I think in the patterns, I think she originally has this part. Well, the chart actually only goes from the cable, or it's just from the cable to around the lace to the other cable, so it doesn't actually have these stitches charted. So, but based on pictures, a lot of people had this just all pearls. I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to switch between needles with pearl stitches. So I was doing magic loop. So I did a column knit stitches instead. And
so you basically kind of made a rib column there.
basically.
Of sorts.
And then I did, a gusset, heel flap, toe up, which took a little bit of math to figure out how to do it because I was debating, do I want to do a short row heel? Because I wanted to use the German short rows.
What did they use in the
After-
pattern? Could you tell?
The pattern, based on the pictures, it looked like it was a short row heel.
Okay.
But I don't recall the pattern having a specific heel instructions, at least not that I could see or be able to translate with Google. But so I just did a bunch of math. I did use German short rows when turning the heel.
Right.
Because I was trying to debate whether I wanted to figure out how to do German short rows in a short row heel or not. And I was like, I'll just do a gusset.
There you go. You can see what the front looks like.
There you go. And then I did a picot edge bind off because I didn't want to do a rib. I felt like these needed a picot bind off.
Yeah.
So I did.
So, does it say in the pattern how it relates to Luna Lovegood, but it's in French. So
No.
I'm trying to figure out, what do these arrow things or the things signify as far as Luna Lovegood herself.
I don't know.
And the colors too.
The colors,
did she? I don't remember her.
The
What
colors
she looked like. I mean, I do remember, but
yeah, I think the colors are based on some of the casual clothes she wears. She had these glasses that let her see things weirdly or something that I don't remember.
I don't remember the
details.
glasses.
I don't know if it came through the books, but she was wearing them at least one point in the movies.
I don't remember that at all.
But knitting whips, it's just the socks and this.
Okay. Well,
then I've got a couple digital painting. What is that? Why is that open?
all right. Well, while you're looking that up, I'm going to show a couple more things
Go
that
for
I
it.
finished. So, I do like to participate occasionally in the. There's a couple of groups on Ravelry, FGF, Fingerless Gloves Fanatics, FGF, and then they have they have the Fingerless Glove group, and then they have a subgroup that's for hats and a subgroup that's for socks. So the hat group, the hat and the sock, all of them, I participate in occasionally when I have time. And so I find some great hat patterns. And so my sister came down to visit a while back, and while she was here, I got a bee in my bonnet to make a hat. And now I have no idea what the title of this hat is. And I'd look it up, but this is my phone right here. So I don't remember what the hat, but it had something to do with...
Fun pattern.
I don't even know. I'll put it at the bottom because this is dumb. I should know. But it takes scraps. It's a slouch. Ooh. It's a slouchy beanie. And it looked... So I just grabbed some... So anyway, my point with my sister was she helped me pick out colors and scraps to go with it.
Heidi?
Aunt Heidi, yeah. And so it's all different worsted weights that are just all different yarns.
Projects?
It's in my projects, yes. And this is an
phone.
alpaca in here. And it looked, as I was making it, I'm like, this looks kind of weird and gloppy, and it might even look a little bit gloppy on the camera. But when
it's cute.
I haven't even blocked it. Look at that. But when it's on, it's super cute. I did pick some pictures of Kirsten in it when I went up to see her. So I went up again to see her after the baby was born a couple of weeks later, just because I had a couple days off at work. And so I went up to see her. So I took some pictures of Kirsten in the hat. And anyway, it's a cute pattern, and I did it in
Candy Stripe Slouch by
That's
Felicia Lowe.
Candy was the theme. So candy stripes, yeah. And it's actually really cute on. If you'd like to put it on to show it off, you may. It's a cute hat. Heidi was funny because she's like, well, I like the hat. And Amalia likes slouches. Yes. So you can scooch maybe forward and you can see. Oh, here's right where the ridge is. That's right where the back is.
There we go.
So show this side.
There we go.
So I haven't blocked it or anything. But yeah, see, it's cute.
Ta-da!
And it was easy and fun.
It's cute.
And the colors are interesting and fun and yet neutral. It's very it's very
like it would go with a lot.
G&W. You know, with the browns and the blues and the greens.
Yes.
And then I also subscribed to a couple of newsletters, crochet newsletters, Two Brothers Blankets and Whistle and Ivy. I think that's what the two that I... And one of them happened to be, here's all these fun crochet patterns you can do for fall. And I was digging around and went, oh, I like this. I'm going to do a hat right now.
There you go.
So I just crocheted a hat.
The South Haven Slouch by Rebecca Langford.
The South Haven Slouch. So that's this one. And it's made out of Kenzie yarn by Haiku, which is it's alpaca and merino and silk and
It's nice.
bamboo maybe and nylon. It's really nice yarn.
It is nice.
And it's very simple hat, very fun. It's crocheted on a size G hook, I think, but it's a little big. I mean, look, it's a little big. It's way too big for me. You can try that on. It fits Allison, but even Allison has a big head, and it's a little big for her. So, well, okay. Nice.
Thank you.
But I think in the pictures, it shows it on the model on the pictures, it shows it pretty loose on her, too. So if I were to make this again, super cute.
Like an F.
Yeah, or I'd do fewer stitches, or I would, smaller hook, or maybe I would do it...
Lighter yarn.
Yeah, so she says it calls for sport weight, but the yarn was...
The project page said worsted.
I know.
Or unless that was the yarn that was supposed to be worsted.
Well, no, I used a very light worsted, so... So yeah, the pattern called for a cascade sport of some sort that's like longwood or something that's not, I've never seen it before, but when I look at the yardage per gram, it was more of a DK / worsted, like a heavy DK, not sport at all. And so I was looking through what I had in my stash that was comparable for the yardage per gram, and I have this, and the Kenzie Ravelry lists it as worsted, but it's not. It's a DK because I've used it with worsted, and it's really too light. It's very, which that's what a DK is. A DK is a light worsted.
Yeah,
and that's what this is. It's definitely DK, but it had the same yardage per gram as this Cascade Sport, So I was like, okay, well maybe next time I will use an actual sport weight that's much lighter and a smaller hook. But, so yeah, I'm going to find someone with a big head who would like a green hat.
Green slouchy hat.
A green slouchy hat. So, the only other thing I have to show finished is my other sweater over here. What do you have?
Okay. The other thing I've got a couple drawings. Well, this one, I didn't draw this, but I colored it in. This pretty mermaid.
It looks very similar to your type.
It is similar to my style, but
Mm-hmm.
the line art was by a gal called Sketch Derps. So Sketch Derps, DERPS, but all one word, on Instagram. And I stumbled across her stuff when I was doing the mermaid drawings. I followed the mermaid tag on Instagram, and her stuff popped up frequently. It was like, okay, I'm going to actually follow you. She posted, she reached 5,000 followers recently, so she offered that that line art for anyone to color. So I did.
Nice.
But then as far as like original drawings,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, I don't have screen rotation on. If I can get my tablet to cooperate here. I drew my... you can see the reflection of the computers behind us.
That's hilarious.
This is my Dungeons and Dragons character, Ellerin. She's an elf rogue. I'm just distracted by the computer. Now everything looks yellow. Lighting's weird.
Oh, lighting got weird for a second.
There we go.
Okay, I think we're okay.
So that's that one. And I've got one other one.
So that is your D&D
That
character.
is my D&D character.
That's been...
That we finished a couple months ago now.
Oh, okay, that one.
And then I drew this gal. I finished her the other day. I was very happy with how
She's
she
cute.
turned
She's like
out.
a little fox or
Like
something?
supposed to be like a wolf.
A wolf, okay.
But a gray fox would work too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you're right. The lighting gets
The
weird.
lighting gets really
all
weird when I
yellow.
do that.
Okay, yeah.
And then that's the only finished drawings I have right now
Cool.
that I've got a drawing whip, but I can show that later.
Show it with whips.
As-
I only have one
as
more
far
finished
as I
object
know,
to show anyway.
That's like all of my finished objects that I can think of that I have here and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I always have lots
Despite
more
not
whips
having
that-
podcasted in 2 months, not a whole lot to show.
Well, we've been really busy.
Life.
Life.
You know, new job,
Yes.
trip,
Yes.
new niece.
So the last FO that I have to show is a sweater, another sweater, very similar to this one actually. So I follow on Instagram Amber Crawley, Maker's Haven, and she is a yarn dyer and a writer, and she's written a couple of books now. And so I got her book box of her short story, her novella, that was like a dream. So she did this whole book box where she had the novella was included in there that she
That's
wrote,
cool.
and then some yarn, 3 50-gram skeins of yarn. And then, as you read the book, this was so much fun.
It looked like
It was so much fun. I posted on Instagram a lot because it was just fun. But as it was a read along, make along, knit along, whatever. And as you read along, once a week, if you get to the whatever page, that she had a little gift that would go with the story. And so there was about 5 different little gifts throughout the story that when you get to page such and such, you open this little gift.
That's so cool.
And it goes with the story. And it was great. I mean, I got some cinnamon coffee, Tuft Woolens lip balm, which was fabulous, and a real pretty rose gold bracelet, and a little jar. Anyway, kind of the theme of the story has to do with pink rain. It's kind of a magical rain that's happening, and it's a pink rain. It's a great story. She's a great writer, too, actually. It was really interesting. I mean, it's a young adult fiction, you know, and I'm an old adult. But it was still well written and a fun story to read. So, excuse me, the colors of the yarn also went along with it. So it was, like I said, 3 50-gram skeins. So I chose to make the Tia sweater. And I chose to take all 3 50-gram skeins and fade them together, like what Allison did with her sweater there. And I figured it would probably take about 150 grams, like this one did, and it did. And I'm not gonna go change right now, so maybe another time I will. But this is,
You can wear it next time.
yeah, maybe I'll wear it next time. So this is it, all done.
So pretty.
So if you can see, there's the first color. I mean, or at least I made it through. There wasn't any order you had to use your colors in, but that was that one. And then it went into a pink, and then it went into a peach with also pink.
Super cool.
So, yeah, I love how this turned out. I made the small. So this sweater has
Another one of those crazy
a lot
positive
of
ease.
positive ease. A lot of positive ease. And when I looked at again, I didn't swatch, but when I looked at the measurements and everything, and I saw how much positive ease was, I went, well, it's going to be I don't want to look frumpy. I want it to be loose, but I don't like negative E's in my sweaters. But I don't want to look frumpy, I guess, for lack of a better word. So I made the small. And thank goodness I did, because it's really loose on me. It's even looser than this one on me.
It looks good on you, though. You wore it?
I wore it yesterday to work.
Yeah.
And it's very comfortable, and it's sparkly. I don't know if you can see that in here.
Sparkly yarn is amazing.
But it's got sparkle in it, and I love it. So I love how it turned out.
It's so pretty.
So I'll get some better pictures of it today with Allison's help. And it just has this nice little lace panel. And then for the sleeves, so like with these ones,
you just bind off and keep
going.
You
just bind off and keep going, and then they kind of roll a little bit. This one you actually do pick up for the sleeves, but you only knit one round, and then you do...
Is that an I-cord bind off?
An I-cord bind off, yeah. So it makes a really nice little cap sleeve. It's a little tighter around my fat, bingo wings, but anyway, yeah. So I really loved the whole experience.
It's very pretty.
Was so much fun.
Yeah, it sounds
to
like
do
it.
the read along with the little gifts, and it's almost like when at Christmas Advent when you're
Like,
opening
it is,
something
like
every
how-
day.
like an advent calendar.
Except it went along with the story, so the little gifts really brought the story to life. So
That's cool.
it was, and then to have this project we were working on too, it was super fun. So yeah, I know she has another one coming out, right?
Ooh.
With on her, she has her On Luna Time was her first book that she wrote, and she did a book box with that, and I never did get that one. I just can't get everything, I want to get everything, but I just can't get everything. But this one was a standalone novella, and then the next one that she's doing is kind of a sequel to the first book, the On Luna Time.
She'll probably want to at least read the book.
Right, so, and I'm sure you can get it. You just have to get on her website. But the next one is also a book box, just like this.
Oh, that'll be
yeah,
fun.
yeah. So, anyway, that was a super fun thing, and I highly recommend. And her yarns are beautiful. She is very talented with her yarn dyeing techniques. And the yarn is super, super soft and squishy. So
very pretty.
That's all I have for FOs with me to show. It's probably plenty. It is 47 minutes in.
Already.
Do you have any more FOs before we go on to
Nope.
whips? Okay. I also don't even have a lot of whips to show because all the things I have been currently working on, I've finished. So I only
she's
have
just that much of a ninja.
I just have a few whips to show, and you do too.
I do.
Do you want to go ahead?
Okay. So, so I can put this down. Actually, I'll show this first. So, in light of, Dungeons & Dragons characters, the next campaign we're doing, I actually did a pencil drawing of my character for that. So,
Cool.
she is a Dragonborn sorcerer, to be specific.
Cool.
So, I pulled it out because I scanned it because I wanted to digitalize the drawing as well.
Okay. Oh, neat.
So, this is what I've got so far of the digital version of her. So, again, reflective computers behind, I'm sorry. But you get the idea.
I should have turned the
That's okay.
monitors off. It didn't even occur to me.
You can get close up of her face at least. So, yeah, she's a bronze dragonborn.
Cool.
But then a little influence from blue dragons in there. Weird lighting.
Cool.
So, then
Fun.
knitting whips. I've gotten hints and flashes of this.
Yes. What are you working on?
This is a Lothian shawl.
Lothian?
Lothian. Lothien.
Oh,
And
I've seen that.
yeah, it's really cool pattern. This yarn, it says Malabrigo Makita. Makita? I was in Makita in my hand. Like Mac. Anyway.
Yeah.
Mechanical.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
The color is Unicornio. So,
I remember when you got that.
yes, this was a yarn crawl yarn. And then, so this is what we've got so far. It's all garter stitch so far. And the really fun thing is, if the money's cooperated, I would have gotten 2 of these. But I was like, no, can't do it this time. I've got yarns at home. So I'm going to fade if I can get it out of my bag here, I'm going to fade the gray into this beautiful Madeline Tosh, the Baroque Violet. It's so pretty. So I'm going to fade the gray into that, and then also in the blue bottom portion, there's flashes of other colors that calls for Madeline Tosh unicorn tails. That's, oh, yarn label. So I've got a couple unicorn tails, mini
So
skeins.
it's a multicolored pattern or
Yeah,
shawl.
a couple more fun colors in there.
Ooh.
So
Oh, that's gonna be really neat looking.
I'll
With
pull
all those bright colors in there with the gray and the
Yes.
dark.
and I'm really looking forward to finishing it. Let's see. Lothian. Lothien. Let me pull up the pattern. My project name is Unicorn Shawl because the color of the Malabrigo is
Right.
Unicornio.
Right.
And then the mini skeins,
Is
for the
unicorn
most part, are
tails.
unicorn tails.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
now let's just see if it can zoom.
Oh wow, that's cool.
So, yeah. Or it's not
focusing.
It's
very
not
well.
focusing. Why you no focus? It's not wanting to focus. But you get the idea.
Yeah, you
Ah,
can look it up.
Lighting! They went really yellow for a minute there. The designer is Justina?
Justina.
Justyna? Justyna
Justina.
Lorkowska. Lorkowska.
Well, it's a beautiful pattern. So it'll look really neat with those yarns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. So
Yeah.
I'm probably going to be getting ready to fade here. Not too distant future. It's pretty much all garter stitch, so it's working up really quickly and very cushy and soft. I'm excited for it.
I used to hate garter stitch because it seemed so.
It takes forever because like this much of garter stitch or of stockinette, same number of rows as like that in garter stitch. So you need more rows to get the same distance.
But it's so squishy.
But it's very squishy and because there's basically 19 rows of garter stitch and then a 20th eyelet row. So it's very, very good for mindless.
Is it a free pattern or paid for
No,
pattern?
it is not
So
free.
don't give away too much. Mm-hmm.
It's a $6 pattern.
Okay.
So it's not too bad
Hair stuck in my.
as far as, patterns are concerned.
Right. Well,
Let's
that's beautiful. What else do you have?
I've got all sorts of things. I've got more progress on my dragon cross stitch.
Do you remember that dragon cross stitch she was working on? It was was it last episode or was it episode?
I think it was
last episode,
I
wasn't
think
it?
we showed it off last episode.
Yeah.
Here, get out of the hoop.
All right.
Because it needs to be out of the hoop to, rest the fabric. Oh, and I've got these clips in here because reasons.
Okay.
We need your help.
All right.
Because it's all crinkly.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what I've got so far. So I've
Can you
got
see it? Oh yeah, you can kind of see it.
the dark red for this wing is all done. And got a little blip of it on its tail, back of the neck spines, and then I'm working on the dark red for its wing. That's part of his tongue, and then I've got more wing spines here with black and dark
I
gray.
was gonna say I feel like I see black.
Yeah.
On there and dark gray.
Black.
Okay.
I'm done. I'm done with the black cross stitching part,
That's good.
which is
Black
really
on
nice. 'Cause
black,
black on black is
especially as we're heading into fall. Who wants to do that? Black on black. Oh.
it's definitely a challenge. So I haven't worked on this in a couple weeks, but I will finish it eventually.
Cool. I do like how it's coming out. Show a picture of what it's going to look like at the end.
I will get that out in just a second. It'll look like that.
Does he have a goofy face?
Not really.
Oh no, it just kind of looked like
Why
it
is
on
there tape on
on the screen. It was hard to tell.
Yeah.
Very
Super cool. So that's
Cool.
that. We've got a couple more. Move.
Well, while you're digging that out, I will show what I'm working on right now.
3 more, and I've got them right here.
Oh.
Okay. I just had to
That's fine. Go ahead then.
unearth it. So, I'm jumping all over craft-wise, but, whatever.
Because Allison does all the crafts.
I do all the things. I do, like, probably just about all the things.
Yeah, probably just about all of them.
So, recently, I got this really cool fabric. This
That
is just
is
a scrap.
cool fabric.
At Joann's.
I love that.
You
What
know,
are you
'cause-
making with that?
Show you this. So, new job, dress code, like a business casual type of deal. So basically, what I would wear to church. No jeans except on Fridays. So I am making this shirt right here.
Oh. That's kind of
That
a neat
one.
pattern. I like it.
The-
I could totally see you wearing that.
Kind of I like the hem,
the V hem.
the V hem,
Uh-huh.
the V neck, and then it's got the asymmetrical sleeves. I
Yeah.
like all the ones in this pattern, but
Yeah.
this is the one I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I have I have it all cut out. I just haven't got around to sewing it yet because I've been watching Critical Role. Okay, and then so
Just was realizing something.
what?
I feel like this is.
I think it's
Okay, that works.
so one of my Sock Madness teammates designed a kid's sock pattern recently. Kind of.
Oh yeah.
It's called.
That's a finished object then that
Well-
you had to show.
It's a half finished.
Oh, you didn't do both of them?
Not yet.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But I've got the first one done.
So cute.
So the pattern's called like Color Your Own Superhero Socks, but it looked more like aliens to me. So I've got the one sock done. And I've got this much of the other sock. So it is still a whip.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah, I was hoping they'd be able to fit Marcus, but he's just growing too much. He's growing too
just
much.
grown so
They
fast.
don't fit him.
We didn't. What was the name of it again?
Color Your Own Superhero.
Color Your Own Superhero.
I can't remember the designer's name.
That's okay.
I want to say her like rivalry name is like
We'll put links.
Bike
I mean,
W or something.
I always put the links at the
Yeah.
to the projects that we do
there you
at the
go.
bottom of the in the down bar thingy down
Okay.
there. So
And
description
then-
box, whatever it's called.
Yes. And, partially inspired, I think, also by the internet's plan, I don't know, or cult following of storming Area 51.
Oh, right.
Which is
right.
supposed to be, like, within the next week or so.
Oh, really?
I think.
I think that's kind of
So-
died down, or I've noticed.
It has, the memes at least have died down.
Okay.
We'll see what comes of it. Anyway.
Anyway.
So, returning viewers will probably remember a while back, a couple months ago, I did a mystery gnome knit along by Sarah something or other. Her Instagram name is imagined_landscapes. So Imagine Landscapes, and you've probably if you search gnome plushie or whatever, you'll see her gnomes. She has some really cool ones. Anyway, she's doing another knit along, another mystery one. So, if you're knitting said gnome and don't want to be spoiled and you're behind, don't look.
Right. Right. Spoilers.
Spoilers, yes. Or if you are not knitting it and don't want to, but want to and keep the mystery, spoilers, basically. Okay. Sorry. But, so, this part, from down here to about here, was clue 1. Clue 2 added these to that, completing the hat. The previous one had the hat done first, too. So. Clue 3 added that. So,
Cute little
so fun. So fun.
tassels
And
on
then
there.
clue 4 is this part. And this is complete
the
up.
body?
This is complete up to clue 4, yeah. So this is actually leftovers from this. It's the same. So Lorna's Laces,
Oh, right. Okay.
the chocolate mousse.
Cute.
That is remnants from the baby blanket I made for Flora,
Mmm.
which I did finished the knitting part of it. I got the flannel sewn onto the back.
And Kirsten has it. I saw
Yep.
it at her house.
Yep. And then this part of the gnome is Knit Picks Chroma. I don't remember the color, but it's leftovers from a shawl I made you a while back.
Oh yeah, that shawl. It looked pinker in my end of it.
Yeah, well.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
getting to the pink.
Yeah, there you go.
It's one of those gradient or like
Cool.
slow gradient types. I think that's all my whips.
All right. Well
And
then.
there's always, future projects, of course, but we don't really talk much about future projects anymore.
No, because we tend to change our mind so much, or I will all of a sudden just randomly
Decide to
start a
start something
project.
else.
Yeah, and so my plans all change or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right now I'm working on my Moretimo sweater, which I started
Zoom tape.
ages ago, but hadn't gotten very far.
Ooh.
Kirsten just sent a polo. Hadn't gotten very far. So this is a bottom-up sweater, Moretimo by, is it Caitlin Hunter? I think so.
It's pretty.
So I'm just using some yarn that I had in my stash. So I'm not using all the same brand or even all the same base or anything like that. I kind of don't care about
Kind of a
those.
hodgepodge almost.
Yeah. So there's these. I can't even hold it because I'm just like. Okay. So
Ooh.
the bottom up. There's a
There you
feather
go.
and fan lace.
That's
so
pretty.
I've got a white with some purpley speckles in it,
Oh,
and then
it's
I
so
have
pretty.
this gray that's got some purple and blue speckles in it, and then
that's
I
super
have
pretty.
this purple, and I have two skeins that I am helically knitting together.
Oh.
If you can kind of see that. So I'll show
Sounds
you what
fancy.
I'm using. So the white is Cloudborne fibers in this. It's a single ply. It's a white with like those pinky purpley speckles. And then, so that's a single ply merino
Pretty.
Cloudborne. And then the feather and fan lace. You guys are going to laugh at me. But this is Lana Grossa sock yarn in these grays with, like I said, the purples and blues and stuff in it. And it's an 80-20 wool polyamide sock yarn.
With you.
Because, so that one, I have a single ply that's like 100%.
Oh, just the mix of all the
Yeah,
things.
so it's a
Gotcha.
Cloudborne, yeah, it's a single ply, 100% merino, and then I have a sock yarn that's an 80-20 merino, or no, just wool, polyamide.
Mm.
And then the purple is some Malabrigo.
Love Malabrigo.
So, and then my two skeins are pretty different from each other. I will show them to you. See, one is quite a bit darker than the other.
There it is. Sorry.
So you can see that one is quite a bit darker than the other.
Ooh, so pretty though.
Even though it's the same color. So that's why I'm
oh, it's the same color?
Yeah, it's the same color.
Weird.
So that's why I'm helically knitting them together
Ah.
because to blend them together. And so it's
Smart.
It's a Malabrigo sock. Hello. And the Abril colorway. 853. Yeah,
Pretty,
and it's
pretty,
both
pretty.
the same. So I'm just doing all the things.
And that is okay.
Once it's all blocked, you're not going to be able to tell that
No.
some of it's a single ply and
Nah.
some of it's not.
Nah.
But I really do like how it's coming out. It's
It's looking
really
really pretty.
hard to show, but I haven't made a whole lot of progress, even though I started on it ages ago because I've been working on a bunch of other things. So that's my current whip that I'm currently working on. And so we all just disappeared off the camera.
Sorry.
Um.
I had the cross stitch needle escaped. So I was trying to find it.
I'm
did.
also working on the ripple bralette for Heather, and I'm using Bugbear Woolens in the Pop Rocks colorway. So I'll show you what that looks like. It's black
Oh, it's
with
so
all of
fun.
these. I might have shown this before, but
It is so
it's
fun.
been a while, so it's okay to
I
have
love
a
it.
refresher. So I'm just about ready to look. Isn't that fun?
It's so fun.
It looks so tiny, but Heather
is small.
Heather is tiny, and she has tried it on, and it does stretch and fit her. But it's I'm just about ready to start I've just finished the under bust part, so I'm just about ready to start the top part.
For the cups.
Yeah, for the cups and the top part.
Nice.
So that's why I set it aside for the trip, because I wanted to be able to, because on one part you start doing the straps too, and now I thought I need to be able to have her around so she can try it on to make sure I'm making the straps the right way.
Oh yeah.
And I couldn't do that while we were on our trip. So,
not really.
But that's as far as I've gotten on that right now. And she loves it. She loves the colors. She chose the yarn.
Nice.
And then the last thing that I keep working on, and I've shown periodically, but I haven't shown it in a while, I don't think, is my temperature scarf. And I've made a lot of progress, and I'm actually caught up, believe it or not.
Nice.
I know, yay me. Okay, so it's gotten really long now. So
as scarves do.
I'm doing the highs for Newburgh.
Ooh. Saw a thing pop up.
I know, I'm wondering if it's going to stop on us. Let me know if you see the numbers quick.
Okay.
Phones. But anyway, so this was January. I don't do some people do like a white or something between months, and I just kind of wanted mine to all blend together. So,
and a hot day there.
Yeah, some warm days, and the spring was kind of a warm winter, and then the summer hasn't even gotten super hot. I've only used a few bits of that pink that shows the really hot days, and now we're starting to cool off again a little bit.
Yes, finally.
Yeah. So
I much prefer
this
colder weather.
is what it's.
Woo!
Yeah.
That'll
so this
be
is up
super
through
fun.
August or September, first part of September.
Nice.
So I know it's gonna be a really fun scarf.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I am enjoying that. I did get quite a bit behind in July when I was up at Kirsten's a lot, but I caught up. So that's all I'm going to show as far as whips, because otherwise we'll be here all day. It's already long enough as it is. We're already at 1:07.
Which is not as long as other people, but still.
Right. The only a couple more things that I wanted to show were a couple of acquisitions, like the yarns I got in Utah on our trip, and then are we ready for that?
I think so.
Okay, so when I went to Blazing Needles in Salt Lake City, I got this yarn that they actually wound for me right there because I wanted to make baby socks for Kirsten right away. So the yarn is, I usually try to buy yarn that's dyed in the state of wherever I'm at, but they really didn't have any Utah dyed yarn. I think they had some Utah sourced yarn, but not Utah dyed. So I just got this one because I liked it. This one is Emma's yarn, and it's actually from Florida, in the Gypsy Market colorway, and it's a big, like 150.
Oh wow.
150 gram ball.
Wow.
And it was on sale, so I'm like, well, yeah.
Heck yeah.
I can make all kinds of things. I mean, 150. I could have made a whole sweater of these sweaters because it took me 150 grams. I could have made a whole sweater with this, but. So I made Kirsten some really cute baby socks with it, and if I have the energy, I'll pop a picture in here of what the socks looked like. They just basic little baby socks. I didn't use a pattern. I just did it.
They're awesome like that.
Yeah. And then when we were down in St. George, I said I went to the other yarn store. My husband is so gracious. The Knitting Post. And I picked up, they did have some Utah dyed yarns, and I picked out some there because I thought they reminded me of the trip. And so the first one is Yarnaceous Fibers.
Look, the little dinosaur on the label.
In the lepto fingering, and the colorway is Allosaurus.
Nice.
It's this gorgeous, it's kind of looking, okay, there we go, that's a little better. It's this gorgeous, well, it's the color of the dirt and the rocks. I mean, it was so pretty. Beautiful down there. Bryce Canyon was amazing, and a lot of this red color, and then there's also bits of mountain and rock that were this color too. So I just thought this was a good
very pretty
memory of our trip.
For sure.
So, and I thought I could even make both Jay and I pairs of socks. If I make footies for both of us and use a different color for heel, toe, and cup.
Yeah, for sure.
Mike could get us both a pair.
I think he can do it.
And then the other one.
Do his first.
Yes, and just
his first.
Do mine leftovers. This one is Hole in the Wool Yarn Co. in their Bliss sock.
Fun.
This is called Forest Floor. It's the colorway.
That's pretty. It's very squishy.
And it's very squishy. It's
squishy.
so soft. This is
super squishy.
This is an 80-10-10. So that's one of the reasons why it's a merino, cashmere, nylon. Which is probably one of the reasons why it was so squishy. And this also reminded me a little bit of our trip because there was a lot of trees and bushes and things that were this color as well. And I mean, it's desert out there. So anyway,
but a gorgeous desert.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
Gorgeous.
So anyway, because that reminded me of the trip, it was really fun. I got those 2 yarns. And then because we went to the yarn store, then Jason was like, I'm happy to buy you yarn, and now can we go do my thing? And I'm like, sure. So he found a shooting range and went out and shot a AK-47? AK-47. So I sat and videoed him, shooting the AK-47 in the shooting range. So he did that, and so we each got to do our own fun hobby things. Yeah, and so that worked out great. And then the only other thing I was going to show, when I was up at Kirsten, so Kirsten lives up in Tacoma. She's got a couple of great yarn stores up there. One of them is Rainy Day Yarns in Gig Harbor, which is real close to where her in-laws live. And so we went out there. This was before the baby was born, when we were waiting for that baby to come. And we were like, come on. So we went out to the yarn store, and I got quite a few things out there. But one of the things I got that I loved is this project bag.
Oh, so pretty.
This has been hand woven, and look at, okay, so I got this one because it was different on each side. All the other ones were the same on both sides. This one is different on each side. So you've got this gray with this extra little weavy thing going on here, and then this fun bright color here.
The neons, I like the neon
side. And then this fun little
charm.
And it is by, I saved the tag so that I could show you all. NanetteWakeStudio.com.
Ta-da.
Can you see that? Probably can't see the words. NanetteWakeStudio.com. And so
really pretty bag.
I just love it.
Woven?
Well, I mean, it looks like she took sock yarn and wove it and made
really
a fabric.
Pretty.
That's what it looks like to
super
me.
Cool.
So you've got this at the bottom and this at the, it's a great bag.
It's a nice size too.
I really love it. And I have my future scrappy project in there.
Oh, there you go.
So I wanted to show that. And then while I was there, so I've purchased Kay Jones at the Baker Bears her Swish and Flick Collective, which had all the bunch of Harry Potter themed things. And I think I've shown, no, I didn't show the socks that I made because I gave them to my niece. So I made, I did do the Choose Your House socks, and I did show the Choose Your House socks, and that was a bonus pattern.
Is that one of Ashley's?
Yes. Whispers in the Walls was one of the sock patterns. And if I have energy, I'll pop a picture in here. But I gave them to my niece. She requested a couple more pairs of socks to take with her when she went up to Alaska. She wanted some warm wool socks, so I made those for her. So I don't have them to show. But one of the other patterns in that collective is the burrow wrap, and I am anxious to make that. But you hold fingering right together with a mohair, and I was
kind of like with your Dust of Snow wrap you did last year.
Yes, right. Which I have the Dust of Snow wrap spread out on my bed. The burrow wrap is a little wider and it has like fringe, so I'm going to put that on our bed instead. And I love
cool.
Robin's Egg Blue slash
so pretty.
A blue turquoise is my favorite color. And so I wanted to get a turquoise mohair, and it's so hard to find a turquoise mohair or a Robin's Egg Blue mohair. Well, mohair, but they had some out at Rainy Day Yarns. So this is the Sugar Plum Circus. Is in the Robin colorway in their mohair. So I got a skein of that. I think you need 2 or 3 skeins, and I had ended up buying. I did find some on Etsy that I ordered from Canada, but then I had to wait for it to come here because it takes a little while. And I have that set aside, and I'm not going to show it because I could be here all day. But now I have my mohair in the turquoise color that I
Nice.
want to start my burrow wrap. So that is
That'll be
a
fun.
future project. Hopefully to start soon is the burrow wrap.
I have an acquisition too, but I left it at home.
Oh.
I got a skein of Boss Kitty yarns
Oh yes, basket
in the
is fun.
Mystique color.
Nice.
But I'll,
You can bring it next time.
yeah, I'll do it next time.
Oh, and
I
that's
have
enough
yet to
anyway,
start the
right?
project.
Hour 15.
Yeah.
But I'm
Excuse me.
sorry that you
Sorry.
guys that it's been a minute. I'll say that it's been more than a minute. But we will try to be a little bit more often. It's just this summer was one crazy summer. Have you ever seen that movie, One Crazy Summer?
I don't think so.
It's kind of a sequel to Better Off Dead. Do you remember Better Off Dead with John Cusack?
Yeah.
I love Better Off Dead. One Crazy Summer also has John Cusack in it. And it's kind of like a sequel to it. And it's,
Okay.
anyway, it's funny too. So when I think of One Crazy Summer, I always think of that movie.
Ah.
But, yeah, it's been that. It's been one crazy summer. And not only am I teaching sock classes now, apparently I'm also teaching a cable class.
Oh, wow.
And a mosaic class at
Oh,
the
wow.
store that I
You're
got
just gonna teach all the things.
signed up for. I mean, I didn't sign up for it.
You got a sun glare on the wall.
What does that mean? They signed me up for it. Whatever.
You were.
I was put on the schedule to teach these things.
They volunteered you to do it.
They did. Yes. I'm like, oh.
Okay.
I mean, I can, but
Thanks for the warning.
So I will be teaching an intro to cables class with fingerless mitts and I see what you mean.
Yeah.
There, now it's gone. What is it? Oh, it's just
It's just the sun reflecting on the window.
Anyway, that's enough.
All
Thank you for
the
watching.
shenanigans.
Thank you. Shenanigans. As that squirrel would say. I love her. I was just catching up on her. I'm so behind on all my podcasts too, and I was just catching up on there. But yeah. Thank you all for watching.
So bright.
And
There we go.
we will see you all next time.
Yes. Track us down on the interwebs and Wyvern713, like everywhere.
Yes. Holly.knits on Instagram. I said that before.
And then Holly Isaac on Ravelry.
Yep. All right. We'll talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.